Hey, welcome to Trade with Bands, and in this video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is currently at a very special level at 50,000. The question is it going to double up and get to 100,000? And in this video, we hope to help you guys answer that question. Stick around for this episode of What's Happening in Crypto. Welcome back. I always tell you guys that my #1 goal is to make you and the folks within the Trade with Bands community as much money as I possibly can, and I really do mean that. So, with that being said, we've been paying attention to what's been happening in the stock market. We've been calling plays for you guys like AMC, BBIG, and even Mara. But now we need to go ahead and redirect our energy towards what's happening inside of the crypto market. Because recently, things have been going crazy. So Bitcoin has breached 50,000 this weekend, Ethereum is back over 4,000, and even Litecoin had a run of over 12% in the past day. So with that being said, all of this should be expected because we know there's no other market on the world like crypto. That thing is hot, 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 baby. I'm talking hotter than Arizona in July on a summer day, 130 degrees, no breeze. You dig? So, with all of that being said, let's hop right on into the information. Now, before we dive too deep off into Bitcoin, I wanted to let you guys know that if you love Doge, if you love Shiba Inu, then stick around and please subscribe because we're going to be making videos of those this week. Which kind of makes me excited, to be quite honest. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so anything you find in this video is strictly for entertainment purposes. But realize that I do have my own points of view. So as long as inflation is the dominant theme, I think Bitcoin has, a long way to go. And I don't think inflation is going to subside or really start to tailor off until 2022 or 2023. And that's at least according to the economic experts or the economists that I follow. So now is the time to be looking at Bitcoin for a swing trade or a longer term play, in my opinion. So again, I'll say I'm not a financial advisor, remember that, but I do have my own personal opinions. Now, when I take a look at the chart, the technicals just jump right at me. So as you can see, which we'll go through, is that Bitcoin has been in consolidation for a long time, and now it's finally started to break above the 50,000 level and beginning to hold that level. Let's take a look at the TradingView chart.
Hey everybody, I wanted to show you the technicals behind the golden cross. First thing I want to do is let me zoom out a little bit and let me just point out a couple quick things on the chart. First thing that's important is identifying what the yellow line is. That's the 50 simple day moving average. The second thing is what is the green line, and that is the 200-day moving average. And the golden cross is simply areas where the yellow line crosses the green line. And what you want to watch for is the following reaction. All right. Now, if we go back in time and we scroll back into Bitcoin's history by looking at the chart, what we can see is a good example of the golden cross. Okay. So back in April of 2019, the cross happened. And then following the cross, you had a huge run up in price. Price went from approximately 5,000 to 13, 14,000, okay, in a matter of a few months. And if we go back, if we go forward in the future a bit, we can see that that happened again. Price moved from where we are here, let's call it around 8,000. And if we go further in the future, you can see that price went all the way up to 64,000. So the last 2 out of 3 times that we've had a golden cross in Bitcoin, price is pushed dramatically higher. We had one time where price went from 3,000 or I'm sorry, 5,000 to around 13,000. And then the second instance where price went from around 8,000 to 64,000. And now if we scroll all the way to current time where we are right now, you can see that the golden cross is shaping up and potentially within a week or two, we should get that same signal here on Bitcoin. And if that happens, then I believe there is now the possibility that we could go ahead and push this thing up towards 100,000.
Now, the golden cross is something that a lot of analysts use and have been using for years and years. And basically what it is that when the 50 moving average crosses above the 200 moving average, then you have a sign for a long-term run. And that is what's shaping up in Bitcoin, but hasn't quite formed or triggered yet, but we're getting there. But if you're looking at the chart and the chart alone, that thing is screaming a buy right now. Now, if we're watching for Bitcoin to get up to all-time highs, then the level to watch is the 64,000. And if that level gets broken, then things are on like Donkey Kong, my friend, let me tell you. I wanted to read an article from Bitcoin Magazine to you about Bitcoin and inflation. And the article is titled, "As Global Inflation Heats Up, Bitcoin Saves the Day." What is the inflation debate in the US? The real rate of inflation is a growing concern, especially among economic policymakers. While the whole discussion could be confusing to the masses, it is of critical importance. According to the AP News, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell argues that inflation spike is transitory and is caused by the reopening of the economy after the pandemic. Now, whether inflation is transitory or not, which basically means that it's going to come and going to go, or if it's going to come and stick around for a while, we don't know, and that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is just trying to give you a bit of understanding and explanation as to why we think Bitcoin is a inflation hedge, right? So if inflation is going up, you want to be in Bitcoin. And they actually asked the question here in the article, and it goes like this. They have a section where they say, Bitcoin, the best inflation hedge, question mark. And below it, what they say is inflation fears are apparent with economic contraction and government stimulus increasing the global money supply. Bitcoin has positioned itself as a perfect hedge against inflation. Unlike fiat currency, which is your common US dollar, and if you're in a different country, it might be the Canadian dollar, the British pound, the euro, etc. Bitcoin has positioned itself as a perfect hedge against inflation. Unlike fiat currencies, Bitcoin is not regulated by the central bank. Additionally, it has a finite supply of 21 million units. This is unlike fiat currency, which can be printed in large as is happening in the United States. So below, they have a section that says, Bitcoin hedging success. A good hedge against inflation is an asset that increases in value over time. So if you understand that inflation is going up, meaning the value of your dollar is getting smaller, then you want to put your money into something that's going to grow faster than the rate of inflation. So this makes obvious sense. A good hedge against inflation is an asset that increases its value over time. Bitcoin has withstood the harsh effects of the COVID-19 pandemic with relative ease. It was trading at around 5,000 when the coronavirus was recognized as a global pandemic. Nevertheless, in 52 weeks, Bitcoin has increased 235%. And many analysts that focus on predicting Bitcoin prices this year went as far to predict that Bitcoin will hit yet the $100,000 mark by the end of Q4 2001. Inflation is on the rise. In April, CNBC reported that the consumer price inflation, otherwise known as the CPI number, in the US increased by 4.2% from the previous year. Additionally, in June, the CPI increased 5.4% from last year, which is the sharpest jump since 2008. Excluding energy and food, the CPI increased 4.5%, which is the biggest jump since 1991. So that means inflation should really be on your radar. You should really be looking at the value of your dollar, and you should be concerned about putting your money into an asset that can outpace inflation, meaning grow faster than the pace of inflation. And why is inflation going up? And they actually ask the question. They say, now the big question is, what is causing the high inflation? And as I tried to explain to you guys earlier, it's the increase in money supply. And that's exactly what they say. They say increasing money supply. The Federal Reserve has resorted to flooding the economy with dollars in order to curb inflation. However, according to Forbes, which is a very reputable organization, the money supply in April 2021 was $20 trillion, representing a 30% increase in the overall money supply since January of 2020. So that means in approximately 16 months, we added 30% to the overall money that was in the available money supply of the dollars. So too many dollars in the system reduces the currency value. And this shit makes sense. It's just supply and demand. All we can do is take a look at the data. And the data says, A, the government is printing more money, so increasing the money supply, which B, should mean that there's an increase in inflation. Period, full stop, end of story. Now, if that's the case, then we need to be on the lookout, like I said before, for assets that are going to increase in value faster than the government can print money. All you have to do is stop and ask yourself one simple question. Do I think the government's going to stop printing more money or stimulus anytime soon? And if we get into economic trouble again, what is likely that the government will do to help stave off that economic trouble, right? Chances are they're probably going to stick to the same script that they've been using, which is, let's go print some more money. And every time they print some more money, they make your hard-earned dollars a little bit less valuable. So you have to work a little bit smarter and put your money into somewhere that's going to grow faster than the rate that they can print those dollars and put them back into the overall money supply. So with that being said, I'm just here to educate you guys as best as I can, here to dig through the data and to go through the charts and let you guys know what it is that I see. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We have some more videos coming out this week relative to Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, so stick around for that. I'm also going to do a cheap options to buy this week, and I'm going to do a crypto edition where I'm going to cover Mara, RIOT, BTBT, and maybe Coin. More than likely I'll do Coin for sure, because there's a lot of interest in that name. So I hope you guys stick around. Please like this video, share this video. Bitcoin going to 100,000, baby. You heard it here first. I can't say that it's going to get there by the end of Q4. If you had to ask me if I had to bet on it, I'd probably say January or February of 2022. But again, that's just one man's opinion. So I'm going to leave you guys with two things like I always do. Patience pays, and get more bands.